Welcome to
Every Day It's Macaroni.
I'm Joy Alfred Brand.
And I'm Juliette Connell, and we're the hosts of Everyday Macaroni, the podcast.
This podcast is a look at the lighter side of life, where we talk about our adventures as a modern blended family.
So sit back, relax,
And prepare to have your funny bone tickled. Well, hello, our one and only listener. Now, are you ready for an extra fun treat for your listening pleasure? I hope you are, because this is going to thrill and delight you. Okay, before we dive into our appetizing topic of American cheese, among other things, I want to take a minute to introduce the characters for those who might be new to the podcast. If you're just joining us, congratulations on stumbling onto what I can only describe as an entertainment bonanza that focuses on all the super fun and intellectual conversations we have at Monday night family dinner. You see, Juliette, my sister-in-law, whom you've already met, her daughters, who sometimes join us, and my husband Ron and I all go to my in-laws' house for dinner every Monday night. My in-laws are Al and Lita, and you're going to hear their thoughts and opinions on everything from, well, American cheese to cod liver oil later on in this episode, and almost every other episode too, for that matter. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this episode and join Juliette, Ron, and I as we start off talking about American cheese. So, did you get beat for wiping your cheese on the couch?
No,
But Juliette did tell on me.
I sure did.
See? She would always tell on me. Even if I was innocent, she would tell on me.
What happened with the cheese?
God.
I don't know.
Ronnie never liked cheese. Just like Caitlin doesn't like chocolate cake.
It's not. She doesn't like chocolate cake, and she doesn't like potatoes.
Very true.
But she'll eat, I think, chocolate
Fries.
cupcakes.
And fries.
And fries.
And
Okay, so
she'll eat brownies.
Yes.
that's true.
Yes, she will.
That's true.
Yeah, that's all like a version of chocolate cake.
Yeah.
Well.
Julia, you'll eat chocolate cake.
I'll eat any kind of cake.
You know?
Any kind of dessert. Any kind of anything. Unless Ron's making it with no sugar. Then
Well-
why eat it?
Tell me about the cheese.
So the cheese, my mom made a sandwich. It was probably bologna and cheese because Ron loved bologna.
With
But-
butter.
What?
With butter.
Ugh.
Remember?
Gross.
For
She
real?
would
Are you
put-
joking?
She would put butter on both sides of the bread so that the bread wouldn't get
Soggy.
Soggy.
from, was it
Whatever
the
you
mayo
put in
or
there.
whatever, what is it, in the middle?
Yeah.
And so the butter acted like a layer of
Gross.
protection.
Like a vapor barrier.
Yep. And so then you would eat it, and even complaining and saying, to management and saying, hey, don't put butter on my bread, please. She would still do it. It's no different than having chocolate. So chocolate was a treat for us, right? Because we didn't have it often. But she would come home with like a Hershey bar, remember?
Yeah.
And she's like, hey, we have one Hershey bar, and we're going to share it. So put the Hershey bar in between 2 slices of bread. And I'm like, no, I don't want the bread. No, do it, because in that way, as you eat it, the chocolate gets into the bread, and the bread tastes like chocolate. It gets into your stomach, and then your stomach thinks you're eating more chocolate than you are, and because we only have so much chocolate.
Isn't that funny? So conversations are definitely different with the different people hearing it, because I agree to a point, right? 2 slices of bread, it was never that you put it between Wonder Bread. It was always Italian bread.
Or
right?
Italian, yeah.
And
No, one time
then-
I did have a Wonder Bread, though, because instead of using 2 pieces, I put it on one, and I folded
I know you did that
the bread, the one
Yeah,
slice.
so you like be sandwiching everything, right? Making it into a sandwich. But the chocolate in bread is because, at least the way I remember her telling me, is that in Europe, right? And I do know that in France they did the same thing. You'd put it between bread because it was more nourishing. I don't know why, but they feel like chocolate is a nourishing sort of thing. Kind of like in the United States, we think of peanut butter. But when you really think about it, peanut butter is a little bit more nourishing than chocolate because it's got protein in it.
I think it depends on the chocolate, though, and how you make it. And
Well-
if you put additives and stuff in the chocolate. Like,
I guess.
Kind of like in Harry Potter when after he sees the Dementors and what's his name gives him the chocolate.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, the werewolf professor.
Oh, right.
it's exactly like that. But no, Mom would
Mom
say...
being the werewolf, is that it?
Yeah. Well,
No,
I
her being
really-
the Dementor.
I really don't know Harry Potter, but no, she would say and remind us that during the war when she was younger, they didn't have much, and the chocolate and whatever is a big treat, and
Yeah.
they had to do the same thing. They had like one bar of chocolate for like 6-8 people, and they put it on bread, and they put everything on bread. They put sardines on bread and eat it like a sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
But
Well, keep in mind that Mom's family, they were lucky in Spain because during the war and then after, right, they owned a bakery. So they were lucky in the fact that they at least had the bread. And the bread made everything else go further.
Yeah, you eat a lot of bread with a lot of things, and
Yeah.
you
So your
clean
stomach-
up your plate and everything, and it gets your stomach even fuller. And
Yeah.
it's flour, water, and maybe some eggs
Yeah.
to do. It's not that much, but yeah, that's the way I remember it. Mom saying, and I remember arguing it and saying, I just give me the chocolate, not the bread. I'm okay if I can only have like half a bar of chocolate, but I just want the chocolate, not the bread. She goes, no, you have to eat it with the bread. I mean, that was the way it was. Or it was either with the bread or nothing. And so it's like, so I ate it because it was chocolate, but I was like disappointed in eating it because I'm like, I can't believe I have to eat it with the bread, but I ate it anyway.
All I can think of is that scene in Willy Wonka where all the grandparents are in the bed and Charlie gets a bar of chocolate for his birthday.
And he splits
And
it.
they're all wearing their gloves and hats and stuff in the bed, and he's like, "Oh, we all get a bite of the chocolate."
Well, it's kind of like that, but then throw bread in there.
Yeah.
And that's the way it was.
Well, that's popular in France. Pain au chocolat. That's a big deal, chocolate croissant.
Yeah.
But the cheese.
Yeah, I know. We keep going away from the cheese, right? We're being repelled from that particular story.
Well, it seems like someone just cut it. I was waiting. I thought you were going to say it, but
Well,
I was waiting.
I was contemplating how to wedge in the fact that while that cod liver oil may not have done anything for the hair on your head, you do actually have nice shiny hair, just not on
I
your.
have a shiny scalp.
Yes, you have a shiny scalp.
I do.
Well, the cheese, just like Ron was talking about the butter, no matter how many times you ask for the butter not to be put on the bread, it needs to be there. It's kind of like, the folding the clothes. It's the way you're supposed to do it.
You're saying your mother would say it has to be there.
Yeah.
Because it serves a purpose.
No. Yeah, it serves a purpose. That's why I'm doing it. I'm not doing it because this is the way I like it. It serves a purpose, right? And that's pretty much her motto for everything. It serves a purpose,
Just in case you don't believe us, here's a little clip of our conversation about Lita's famous chocolate sandwiches.
They give me
diarrhea.
the wine, the priests have it in the church.
Holy wine.
I don't know how to call them.
It's called cheap wine. That's what that's called.
No,
No, it's
was
the one
nice.
The priests make them themselves.
With
communion.
Yeah, I know. It's called
Yeah.
cheap wine.
No.
They go to the Food Lion just like we do here, and they buy it tax-free.
They didn't have a food
Well,
line back in
not
1800.
In those days,
In those days, what
it
do you
was
think?
the best wine.
Yeah.
And it's sweet
He's just
Yeah,
with
well,
an egg
this is
inside.
because I'm angry.
Yeah.
What?
With an egg.
So you were drinking wine with an egg inside of it?
The shell.
That's like eating chocolate inside bread. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
I
If you
don't.
put a little bit of peanut butter in it,
You remember that? Giving us chocolate with the bread?
It has to be.
It has to be, of course. I know. That's what I tried telling them.
It has to be. And even
So I
now,
grew up like an animal, and she only had chocolate.
She ate it right out of the wrapper.
Yeah. Like an animal.
Joy. She ate it raw.
that is why she is a woman.
That's
Strong.
that's the only reason.
We tried telling her we would have dessert sandwiches. We'd have the Italian bread,
Yes.
the Hershey bar,
Yeah.
sometimes marshmallows on top.
No.
And then we
no.
would-
No marshmallows.
No
marshmallows.
There was
Marshmallows.
where did you come up with marshmallows on top?
No.
There was no
You did-
marshmallows.
if
in
you
it.
did put peanut
No.
butter in
No
it,
I
marshmallows.
tried
What if-
once.
what-
Once I
It-
tried giving them chocolate, and I said, "Here, put it between two bread," and they were like, "What?"
You're like, you're
No.
crazy.
No, but we did it. We did it with peanut butter. My mom would secretly make us peanut butter and chocolate sandwiches.
Yeah, no, I know it wasn't.
Those
a secret.
that sounds actually kind of good. But
It is.
remember, you would also butter the bread.
Ugh.
Oh.
both
No,
sides.
no.
Remember?
There was no
No,
butter.
no.
They did not like butter.
They
It
didn't
was
have butter back
margarine.
then.
It was
No.
margarine.
No, we
Yeah.
didn't like. No, no.
I can't
no.
believe
no
it's not
butter. No butter, no margarine.
I remember going to school
Country club.
and and having the bread, and in between the bread there would be like
Oh, mom.
the bologna.
Well, bologna, okay.
No, they're
The
pork.
bologna, but
No, they're pork.
so that things
Little
didn't
porks.
leak through.
Little porks.
You buttered both sides of the
Because
bread.
we think that she's allergic to beef.
No, that's their pork.
Yeah.
But it's beef. It's probably.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, most likely.
Eh,
But at least it's less
Look.
likely than just beef.
and in Spain, we eat the big meal around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Then at 5 o'clock
Then you
is
butter
what
the
we
bread
call merienda. All right, what you have on the merienda is you get what they call here Italian bread, okay, cut it in half, put a bar of chocolate, put the other, and you have the chocolate and the bread. And if you have a chorizo
You put
made
that.
at home,
You put that on top of the chocolate.
no.
Yeah.
You get a sandwich of
Oh.
chorizo.
Okay.
If you have
Wait,
fish, then you cook
Yeah.
at the middle and you got leftover fish, you put it on the bread, a sandwich,
wait.
and you eat it.
With the chocolate.
No, that was
Come on.
another option.
Are you
That was
just
the
putting
better option.
chorizo on an uncooked plain Italian loaf?
Yes, mate, because
It's-
here you live
it's
in
cooked.
North
No,
Carolina,
I
and
didn't
there's
say
no Italian
uncooked.
bread.
No, I know.
I didn't say
No,
she
that's what I'm
doesn't.
saying. I'm
Yes.
saying that you're saying that, but you don't put anything else on it. No cheese. No nothing. Just meat and uncooked bread.
Yes.
It's
I
But it's
cook-
not
Untoasted,
uncooked.
untoasted.
Untoasted. bread.
Untoasted
Yes.
bread.
Yes.
Uncooked bread.
She doesn't
Untoasted.
mean uncooked.
Oh,
She
untoasted.
means
Oh,
a regular piece of bread
They are
that's
in
not
another
toasted.
world.
She
You guys
lives
are
in
in
the
a
world
different
that
world.
everyone got toasted and everything.
You were spoiled.
You got toasted
Ah,
bread.
yes.
The rest of us didn't.
Back in the old time.
We got uncooked bread and cod liver oil on a spoon.
You can chase it with bread.
Yeah, I got toasted many
And
times.
look, anybody that goes to Spain loves the food. It's
Yes,
we got
yes, which is very
we
different
got-
Yes,
than the food
Mama.
we got.
we got
Yeah,
the
no.
best cooks are in Spain.
Look,
They
Mama,
are
I
in
love you, but
Spain.
they're
They
not.
are in.
They don't immigrate to the United States, as we found out.
It's true.
Mama,
I love how Lita comments that you guys live in a different world. So funny. Okay, back to American cheese.
So the cheese was on there because, you can't just only have a bologna sandwich. And Ronnie was skinny and scrawny. So
From barfing every morning before school.
maybe. So
So
he
she's
needs
trying to fatten him up with the butter.
Exactly. The butter's in there, and he needs nutrition and cheese. It's got, milk and whatnot. Now looking
For your
back,
bones.
it was Kraft slices. We all know that doesn't have too much milk, but
Kraft would argue with that.
Yeah,
Well,
Kraft
Kraft
is
would.
is supposed to be a single serving of milk in every slice.
oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, look at that.
No, like half a serving of milk, right?
Not gonna say a full.
Oh my god. Anyway,
Google it.
somehow
I don't know, but let me just give a
Whether-
shameless plug to the Kraft Corporation right now and say, delicious Kraft single cheese.
They
It's
do
good
make-
for your body.
They do make good cheese.
and it does make a good grilled cheese sandwich.
And you don't have to cut it.
That is good.
Listener, you know I got to fact check Kraft American Cheese. So from what I can tell, Kraft American Cheese was invented in the United States around 1903 by a former Canadian named, wait for it, James L. Kraft. Kraft patented his concoction in 1916 and went to town on marketing it as American cheese. By 1930, 40% of the cheese consumed in the United States was Kraft American cheese. It basically consists of some offcuts, shall we say, of real cheese, powdered milk protein, and other fun stuff. Sounds like something Alan Lita would make for dinner. That is heated, pasteurized, mixed together, and extruded into a single cheese slice that is then wrapped in a fun bit of plastic that we all remember from our childhoods. In the 80s, Kraft advertised each slice was made with 5 ounces of milk, which got Kraft into a bit of a pickle with the Federal Trade Commission. Kraft American Cheese actually has 22% of your recommended daily calcium allowance in a single slice, with 66 calories, 3.6 grams of protein, 16 milligrams of cholesterol, and 275 milligrams of sodium. It's a milk and cheese scandal. Dun dun dun. And now, back to our podcast episode that is already in progress.
But the American cheese was on there, and he hated cheese. And he would slip it out. And my parents were very mid-century modern furniture. I mean, I look back on some of the pictures and I wish I had some of that furniture. Some.
Well, they're very edgy when it comes to stuff like that. Like, they want what's the latest and greatest, and they want, modern furniture, whatever is in trend at that moment. Right. Yeah.
Well,
I think they had it because that's what they had when they first got together.
No. I don't think so. I think
because later on they got all the Ethan Allen
stuff.
Well,
which is
right, because it was trendy.
It was trendy. Yeah.
Colonial.
They're like that even today with their clothes. They want to be on trend.
Yeah. I mean, when they went to California, right? So they moved and went over to California. They got whole new, furniture and whatnot. They went mid-century. The wallpaper was mid-century, very California too back then. And this couch was amazing. It was red wool, right? Actually, more like a tweed.
Boucle, like that bubbly fabric.
I thought it was more like a velour.
No. It wasn't. No, it wasn't that. It wasn't that bumpy or. It was very
it was
smooth. It was
shiny.
Kind of a almost tweed. Very. Back then, things were made really, really well, but it was red, and then it had, those tapered round legs, just like mid-century.
Yeah, like on a wooden base. And it had a wood trim piece around the bottom, right?
Yes, and no arms, and it had the buttons on the back, right? It was beautiful, and it was the perfect place to hide cheese. Who knew? So it was up against the wall, and Ron would slide the little cheese piece out, and he would hang his arm behind the sofa and, kind of stick it onto the back of the sofa. I'm not quite sure what he was thinking about where it was going to go later, but there were like 1 or 2 slices back there.
Didn't you have a dog?
Yeah.
He wouldn't eat it.
We always had dogs.
Even Toby in Denville, I'd have to put my food underneath the
that's
the
right.
China
He was
cabinet.
always hiding food. Like the two of us, I have to say, are picky. I'm probably more picky than you are eating.
Yes.
But
the Marine Corps fixed that.
Well, that is true. But he always was hiding food, and I don't even know how he did it. Like,
look, he was hiding food. Sometimes I have the urge to hide some of their food. I really do. I look at it and I think to myself, oh my God. And if you want to see pictures of it, you can look on my Instagram, #everydaymacaroni. I'm just saying. But some of that food, oh my God. I don't know. It's terrible. We don't go for the food. But I have the urge sometimes to, and sometimes I do. I actually get up from the table and I'll go into the kitchen to clandestinely slide the food into the old garbage can under the sink.
I just already know what I like and what I don't like, or what I can eat or not eat or whatever. So I just literally pick through everything. But Ron would somehow When my mom's cleaning up the table and we were all still there eating, he would either slide it onto a napkin that was positioned perfectly next to his plate and then grab that napkin like he was wiping his mouth and keep it in his little fist. And then we had this huge china cabinet behind us. And he would, I don't know, pretend he was tying a shoe or something, bend over with the napkin, and then slide it underneath the cabinet so that by the time my mom got back, his plate was clean. And he would go. And I'm just going to say, I never said a word. And then he would take that piece later on, and you would dump it.
You did, because that's how they found out.
Okay, but I let you get away with it for several different times because
I let you get away with it.
She let the evidence build up. So she's like, it's not a one-time thing. He does this all the time. And that just made the beating extra special.
No, you never got beat over it because we were older by then, or a little older. But he would take...
That was in Patterson.
No.
The red couch?
No, the red couch was in Patterson.
Yeah.
The big china cabinet was in Denville. Mm-hmm. And he would take, later on when the kitchen was clean and everybody was out of the kitchen, he would come by and he would grab his little package and then he would go back into his room where his window in his bedroom faced where the dog was on his lead. And he would wait till the dog was outside. My mom or dad put him out. And he would dump the food out there and then,
What planning? That's a hallmark of a true criminal mind. Yes. What
Well,
planning?
I do remember Juliet getting some of her food, and she would go to the bathroom. And I remember you trying to flush it down the toilet.
How'd that work? I don't remember that.
Doesn't
all.
sound like it worked too well.
I know.
Yeah, you can't do it too often because then they'll be like, why are you going to the bathroom all the time? No. But I remember you getting up and going to the bathroom, and then you came back, and I remember I was like, she doesn't have her napkin with food in it. I'm like, I'll have to try that next time.
A coordinated effort.
I'll have to mix it up.
The funny thing is that now, I'm just thinking about this now. And these are things that we've never really talked about. That the two of us were trying to get rid of food. And we were really good at it. And had we shared our ideas,
You
we
had
could
to
have
be really
worked
good at it.
together, but we didn't.
I know you were like against me. You thought it was like a competition. That's why you were like telling on me. And even the dog Toby wouldn't eat the food. I would give it to him, and he's like, "No, I'll eat the dog food."
Yeah, and you know what? And I have a feeling that Mom found out some way because you gave the dog
Some way? Just said how she did.
No.
You told on me.
No, because I think you gave the dog
Backstabbing traitor.
I think you gave the dog something, and he was chewing on it.
Yeah, ptomaine poisoning.
And then he turned to Mom or Dad, and he spit it on the floor, and she was like, "What is that?"
The dog that dropped the dime.
The dog turned to them
Blame it
and
on the
said,
dog.
"Hey, you see that? Your son just gave it to me."
Well, yeah, that's a good point. How do they know it was you
One
and
time-
not you?
Yeah, one time he did. He stopped and he was chewing on it, and then he's like, "Nah," and he just left it there. And I was like, "Uh-oh!" And my parents did find out, and I tried saying, "Oh,
Juliet did it."
I go, "No," I tried saying, "I dropped it," and Juliet goes, "No, he's feeding it to him." And I was like, "Really?" I'm like, "Are you kidding?" I'm like, I could have gotten away with it. Like, that's plausible. I dropped it. Nope. Not going to happen.
Yeah, well.
That's good stuff right there.
So we're siblings.
But wait, there's more. Remember when we talked about Ron throwing up every morning before school? It was the cod liver oil that did it. Let's hear what Ron has to say about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that they carried over from when she was younger. The cod liver oil,
Ugh.
right?
And,
Having
it,
to
and
have,
it wasn't the pill cod
wasn't
liver
even the
oil.
pill.
Even though now I found out that there was the little pill option, and she
Back
opted.
then
Yeah.
you could take a pill.
Probably,
Yeah,
but
it
it was
was like
probably more expensive.
And it looked like vitamin E's, the ones that you could see
Yeah,
through.
the big capsules. Yeah.
Yeah, they still have them now, but
Yeah.
it was horrible.
Oh, my
taking
gosh.
it as a spoonful.
I looked like I felt like the Little Rascals on TV, this massive, huge spoon that I don't. It was like a serving spoon,
Yeah.
and it was full to the brim. It was so full that you remember she used to give it to us right over the kitchen sink.
Oh yeah, you don't
So
want to spill
that
it.
if any of it spilled, it was over the sink. So
It would be horrible because you spill it on the floor, and then that's it. You'll have that smell there for days.
God.
So she didn't want to get it on the floor, is what I think.
No, I think, and this is probably why we did it there.
Don't spill it on the
One,
carpet.
because she didn't want to spill it, right? And at least it was over the sink. And two, that
It was coming back up.
right more so than not, Ron would get it, and it would hit whatever rock bottom, and it would come right back up. So conveniently, you were there right over the sink when that would happen.
Oh yeah, I threw up before I went to school almost every morning.
Daily, yeah, almost every day.
That's why I'm so skinny now. Naturally, my body just. But that's why to this day, I don't eat fishy fish. As soon as I have that fishy fish taste or smell, it takes me right back to having that spoon. And I would pinch my nose and try to swallow it and not breathe it. But at some point, you have to breathe or pass out. And so I would start to breathe, and there it is, that fish smell, and then I would throw up. And then I'd go to school smelling like throw up and fish. It was horrible.
What did your
was
mother
like-
say? I mean, certainly.
My mother would say, you have to do it because it's good for your skin and you get nice, thick hair. And look how that worked out for me.
No, it
Well-
wasn't because of that. It was cod liver oil was thought to be very medicinal. It warded away colds.
Evil
and-
spirits.
It was just a healthy thing that people did. It nourished the body. It
I
made
asked
you
her
stronger.
for Flintstone vitamins instead. And nope.
And that was a no.
Well, you would think that the health benefits of the cod liver oil would be outweighed by your kid throwing up every morning before going to school.
Well-
Nowadays, I
Yeah.
think most parents would be like, okay, cod liver oil is supposed to be good for you, but throwing up every day is not. We'll go with not throwing up.
Now, let's hear what Lita has to say about the cod liver oil.
What you need to feed her is cod liver oil. That's what you need to feed her.
I wonder if you could do that, though. I wonder if you really could give a dog cod liver oil.
Never know. Ask them. They're the experts. They gave it. They fed it to us all the time.
It's just going to give them diarrhea because it's oily.
It's easy for them to then get rid of it.
Yeah.
They'll have oily discharge, is really what we're saying.
Is that what happened to you when you had the cod liver oil?
Did I give you cod liver oil when you were little?
You don't remember that?
What?
Oh my God! You and I know that story.
She knows. She
Yes.
just doesn't want to
In
say
a
it.
really big spoon. It wasn't even this spoon. It was
No,
the bigger one.
It has to be a bigger one.
Yeah, of course.
It was the
Good.
big one, and she would give it to us by the sink. So just in case it spilled in the sink.
I don't think that's why.
And Ronnie would spill the whole thing.
But why are
Vomit and all.
But you see, both of you were the nicest skin.
No,
you
Ron
had.
didn't benefit from cod liver oil at all because he threw
No
it up
hair. He's
before
got
he-
no hair.
Hold on.
But I say skin. I didn't say no hair.
I am
But
naturally
if you had
thin.
hair, it would have been nice and shiny
Well-
like hers.
I do. But I'm not going to show you.
It's nice and shiny.
Oh yeah, true. That's
What?
All that back hair is all nice and shiny. Is that what they're saying?
and soft. I love a man with a hairy back.
Look what a beautiful hair she has.
Joy combs me every night.
I do. Yeah, every night. What was the idea behind the cod liver oil, though? I never had. Nobody ever gave me cod liver oil when I was a kid.
Wow.
Well, my parents gave it to us.
See?
Oh.
Like a stamp of
So this is you passing on the tradition.
We just
Yeah,
made a wine.
have to pass on the
I was looking at
tradition.
you right now.
But this one here, she didn't pass it on the tradition.
Oh.
Yes, because she didn't want to kill her kids.
Uh-huh.
You should have. You should have given her
See,
cod liver oil.
Yeah.
Your eyes would have been shinier, your hair shinier.
Yeah.
I don't think that's how that works, Mama.
I guess you're gonna have to pass it on to your dog.
It's good for your entire body.
Intestines.
No. But you know what really
Okay.
bothered me is that when you were giving us cod liver oil, I didn't know enough. But back then, you could have given us a cod liver oil pill.
Yeah,
And
I
not
didn't know
made
enough.
us and not made us drink it
Well,
out
it was
of
probably cheaper.
a tablespoon,
No, and those
like it
time
was
there was no pill.
it was like the
Yeah.
1920s.
No,
and
no,
we
no,
were
That's what
no.
it
little
is.
rascals.
You don't realize how old you are.
Yeah.
No, I know how old
At
I was.
that-
In the
at-
70s, there were the pills that looked just like the vitamin E.
Look, it was either liquefied cod liver oil or Fred Flintstone pills.
And
I would take the cod liver oil.
But
You wanted the
don't
Fred Flintstone
complain,
tablets.
because after that, I always give you a little bit of sugar.
Liver oil pills made.
I don't remember that part.
Oh yeah.
yeah, because you threw it up, so
Yeah.
you didn't count. I got the treats.
Yeah.
Sugar on a spoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She put it on the galletas. I tell people about galletas, and they're all like, as a kid, you had a bowl of coffee.
I would like to say
But it was
But they were
tiny.
made
It
in-
was a very tiny amount of coffee.
they were
with
made into
mostly
a
water.
concentrated
with
pill in
mostly-
the 1930s.
There.
What?
In the 1930s, cod liver oil was made into a pill.
Oh, good.
50 years before we started, and you still
Yeah.
didn't know.
They could have given it to me in pails too.
Oh, you
They
had to
could
have it
have.
in a spoon. You had
Ah.
it too?
No.
See, that's what it was. No. I was tortured by my parents, so I was going
You
to
got
torture
that.
my kids.
Huh. Also, people stopped taking it because it would make your blood stop like clotting and all, and could increase the chance of bleeding.
You could have been a hemophiliac.
Yeah.
What?
Shout out to Kate for quick draw Google fact checking cod liver oil. And I would also like to take this opportunity to pause for a word from our fake sponsor, Acme Cod Liver Oil. A spoonful a day keeps the neighborhood kids away. Send your kid to school smelling like throw up and fish, and we guarantee your kid will love you for it. How long did this go on for?
I don't know. In
The
my
whole time in Patterson.
in my kid brain, it probably went on.
I'd say up until like 8, 9. A lot of things happened to 8 to 9.
Well, that 8 or 9 years of cod liver oil every morning sure does explain a lot. Listener, I bet you're hungry now, aren't you? I know you will agree that cutting the cheese jokes are always funny. And I know you will also agree that this episode brings new meaning to the phrase American cheese. Yep, that's right. We are full up on Spanish delicacies every Monday night, including, but not limited to, your choice of Spanish sandwiches like chocolate or chorizo on bread or butter and American cheese served with a side of cod liver oil. You can wash it down with wine mixed with egg to make sure your bones are strong and healthy, if you can keep it all down, that is. Remember those scratch and sniff stickers from the 80s? Yeah, this episode would make a great one, don't you think? Throw up and fish. Yummy. Just remember that whatever it is you find on your plate, eat it. It's good for you. This has been a public service announcement from the Institute of Sofa Safety, reminding you to check the backs of your sofa for slices of cheese. I hope you enjoyed listening and sharing a laugh or two with us. Stay tuned for more Everyday Macaroni adventures on future podcast episodes. And if you want to see some pictures of us, you can follow us on Instagram by searching @EverydayMacaroni or #EverydayMacaroni. In fact, you should be able to find us on YouTube soon. Just search Everyday Macaroni on YouTube and our new channel should pop up. If you want to shop for some fun macaroni merch, head over to everydaymacaroni.com. Don't forget, if you have a blended family story to share, email us at info@everydaymacaroni.com and put the word share in the subject line. Your story might end up on a future episode, and how fun would that be? Finally, Don't forget to give us a good review and download your favorite episodes. A share wouldn't hurt either. The more interaction we get for the podcast, the more episodes we can post. Again, thanks for listening, and join us for the next episode of
Every day.